Finally. Oh, it felt amazing. I was on cloud 9. That's the first time I've ever beaten him. We've had sets in PM and Smash 4 in this game, and he's literally always won.
Yes. Show me your moves.
Yeah, so I guess it wasn't on camera, but I actually close my eyes and take a few deep breaths before every game. It helps me focus. It helps me stay nice and calm. I had to close my eyes, take a few deep breaths, and then I like pick my character. That way they won't let me... That way I won't worry about the game starting earlier than I want it to. Before this starts, I'd like to say that I don't think this matchup's as bad as a lot of people pretend it is. I think a lot of people just complain way too much against Pikachu. Like, don't get me wrong, Pikachu's an amazing character and beats tons of relevant characters. But I see so many people act like their matchup against Pikachu is so much worse than it actually is. They would rather just complain than learn these extra nuances that make their life so much better. If you watch me play this matchup, have you noticed how little I'm dying off of so many of these situations that other people are like getting 0 to death off of? I'm escaping some of these lightning loops, or I'm avoiding getting edgeguarded in all these situations, or there are ways you can move around like Thunder Jolt so that you don't just get locked down in neutral. There are ways you can contest their aerials and challenge their landings. Like, there are things you can do to fight this character, even as Falcon. Saving your jump is everything against Pikachu off stage. The longer you can keep it, the better, because while Pikachu has really good option coverage, Pikachu can't necessarily cover everything. And Pikachu can usually just cover one option extremely hard, or a few options decently. So usually what I try to do is, if I'm at lower percents, I'll just make sure to choose options that won't get me killed, even if it's much more likely I'll get hit. Like, there are some times in this set where I basically get hit on purpose off stage, just because I know if I get hit in that position, it requires Pikachu to use an option that doesn't throw me far enough away to cause a problem. If anything, I get hit just far enough away to where my position after that hit is better than the position I had before the hit. And then I have options for getting around what Pikachu can do. Like, a good example is if Pikachu's like roughly parallel to you horizontally and chasing after you off stage, if you try and jump over, you can like get hit by Thunder. If you just stay there, Pikachu can like double jump back air and kill you. You could get hit by side B and then start getting forward air and died. If you go low, they can catch you with down air. So like, one option I'll do is if I'm closer to the stage, I'll just side B into them, even though I don't expect it to hit. Just because I know if they hit me after the side B, you'll end up at lower percents, not being sent far enough to where now you're in a different position relative to where you were before. And in that new position, there are ways you can just avoid everything Pikachu can do. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I do in this set that's along those lines. You just need to know what options will get you killed. And sure, I'm like taking hits where potentially I wouldn't if I knew he wasn't going to go for that harder option. But for me, making sure that I'd survive is more important than potentially avoiding a little damage, you know? Like, that's another thing. Being consistent with your parries on T-Jolt helps a lot too. Like, he read me running away and caught it with back air, but like him going for that back air requires him to get that read, you know? Like, I could have jabbed him, I could have grabbed him, I could have done cross-up roll or tried to jump over him. He just had a good read after the parry. Like, that was... Like, you have plenty of options there. You just need to be smart about it. Also, you have different options depending on whether Pikachu comes in with early T-Jolts or later T-Jolts. Like, if Pikachu does the T-Jolt where he's, like, jumping backwards and T-Jolting to where he's, like, catching up to T-Jolt, you can parry T-Jolt and then actually threaten aggressive options, which completely changes how they have to move around you. But if they're doing the T-Jolt where they're running towards you, a lot of the time you can parry the T-Jolt and then cross-up roll, and it puts them in a position where they can't really hit you with anything meaningful.
He's got these up airs. Yep. The parry.
And like, also on the last back airs, it's good to SDI up. Like, you save your jump.
Okay, avoiding the down air.
And see, I'm fine. I'm back on stage. And I only took 25. Not so bad. So many problems can be avoided by just actually learning the matchup. Who knew? Some people need to stop complaining. Holy sh**.
Yo, you got those lighting moves, and you got the cross up too, and the tech.
Yeah, that was good.
God.
That was so good.
How are you gonna ult
He really caught me off guard there. I wasn't ready for that. Yeah, that was such a good read on my aerial option there. But like, look, I SDI'd enough out of that back air to where he wasn't able to get anything else. Like, sure, he can read the tech option, but that forces him to do extra work, you know? And having extra follow-ups out of reading a tech option isn't like Pikachu specific. Every character does. Also, like, look at my DI on this down throw. Or DI the down throw straight up. That way when Pikachu has to hit you... The only way Pikachu can hit you with up air requires Pikachu to like drift back slightly. And because Pikachu has to drift back slightly, even if they get the hitbox that semi-spikes, they won't be able to do the up air bridges. Like, it's just not possible. So you can DI to consistently not let them get up air bridges. Learn your matchups.
See right here, ESAM keeping up the pressure. Where do you go in this moment?
You see the up B buffs.
Or like off of that up B right there, I was far enough away to where he wouldn't be able to get down air in time. So like he could still read what I do afterwards, but I have a lot of options and I can potentially kill him for coming after me by like throwing out down air or things like that. I can try and like use down air defensively in that position. Also, more people need to do that against Pikachu. Like doing jumping air dodges when Pikachu is low, you have to realize that their only real option for hitting you is with Thunder there. So there is a lot of value in using immediate jump air dodge so that you'll get through the cloud. And then it puts you in a position to where you can potentially get 2-frame down airs. Or if you think they're going to recover higher, you can just like throw it up tilt or something.
And you keep your jump, which is so important.
Also, up smash is really good in this matchup. Like, if you read where Pikachu's going to land even once, he just explodes. Pikachu's light. And because it has good range, you can actually outrange a lot of their aerials. Like, if you read Pikachu coming in at you with back air, you can often just eat the back air with up smash. Same with other aerials, too. It reliably beats Pikachu's aerials. So, like, even if you just throw it out occasionally, sometimes the value of the move is not necessarily in hitting Pikachu, but in just making Pikachu think, oh, I can't just throw things out or I'm going to die. The moment you make Pikachu worried about throwing out aerials is a good moment because now you don't have to worry as much about Pikachu spamming aerials against you because you're discouraging that. And the more you can discourage Pikachu's better options against you, the better.
The backer after that too. Fatality needs it right now.
And of course, even if they aren't discouraged, then you can just smack them, you know?
ESAM retaliated right back. That's for what you did for that.
Yeah. The reason I went for that up B there was I thought he was going to air dodge to land on the stage there. Like, I thought he was going to land on stage. And even if he doesn't, the thing is, if you get up B in this position, it's going to hit. But if it doesn't, the only way Pikachu can avoid it is to go off stage and not be able to punish you for it. So like there's zero risk in that up B there, but potential reward. And what's not to like about that, you know? Like me up being there forces him to do one particular kind of air dodge to not get hit. And ESAM was smart enough to know which one that was and do it, but either way, like I forced him to do something and I didn't get punished for missing, so it's like whatever, you know? See, like, those cross-up rolls and those positions are pretty solid. A lot of the time, when you end up in these, like, close-range standoffs against Pikachu, they're kind of incentivized to jump at you with aerials, and then just getting back to center stage is usually one of your better options. Like, usually you want to mix up between, like, cross-up rolls, jumping towards them, and, like, throwing out an anti-air option like upward angled F tilt or even up tilt. Or I guess if they're at higher percents, you could even throw it up smash, you know? And that's my last big tournament of the year. Fitting that it's the Smash World Tour Finals. Also, the reason I went for this up throw instead of down throw was ESAM's too smart to DI in or whatever. Like, he's going to DI out in those positions. So, like, down throw is not going to give me anything. But up throw puts him in a position to where, like, see, I could threaten up airs. Or, like, see, like, I forced him to burn his jump. And because I can force Pikachu to burn his jump, it becomes way easier to catch his other options. Like, sure, he made a really good decision reading how I was going to come after him here with that one down air. But I put him in a position to where he has to burn resources to avoid me. Whereas with down throw in that position, he doesn't. Sure, he happened to choose the right option, but I mean, that happens sometimes. That position still favored me on paper, and I don't regret going for it. Also, another option I want to do more going forward in this matchup is more wave dash backwards. It's kind of similar to rolling backwards, but a little less committal, and it offers a lot of the same benefits. I think it's really important in this matchup because that kind of movement in general, like grounded microspacing is everything against Pikachu. Because a lot of their value is in throwing out like aerials at those shorter mid-range distances. And having just that little bit of extra space to be able to move just out of the way of and then like react to dash attacks is very important. Like whiff punishing a lot of their moves with dash attack is one of the biggest things in this matchup. I used to think that Raptor Boost was the secret, but I've realized that the real woke option for whiff punishing in this matchup is dash attack. There's a reason you see me use it so much in this set. It's one of our most important moves against Pikachu.
Drift back fatality with that great
Yep, that was a really good read. Called out that spot dodge.
Trying to approach you. You see the T-jolts coming out from ESAM, but the back air, the cross.
Yep, good old rapid jab.
Damage right there, the rapid jab at the ledge.
Okay, so the reason I went for that air dodge, remember when I was talking earlier about the value of threatening Thunder in that particular position? You have to realize that from that position, the only real threat to me is in double jump Thunder from below, which is a way of racking up damage. But if you read the Thunder at a particular timing, notice how I do it like this. That way, if he does Thunder, I drift back on reaction to him, and I can just kill him with down air. It's a way of basically making it to where they can never feel comfortable going for the one option that they normally feel comfortable going for. And if you can discourage them from going for Thunder, it becomes a lot easier to threaten 2-frame down airs off of their traditional quick attack recoveries. And obviously, he didn't do Thunder, so at that point I thought, well, I'm up here, and because of my position, I thought he was going to do a rising aerial to try and kill me and force a reversal. So once I realized he was going to try and reversal me in that position, that's why I decided to go for down air in that position, because I knew he was going to try and kill me off of it. And I guess he was caught off guard by that. He probably thought I was going to try and reset neutral, but I knew he was going to try and kill me there, so I just didn't let it happen.
Yes, jump right by the ledge. The crowd's going crazy.
Yep, that's such a good read. I had that landing right there because I thought he was going to like commit to a grounded option. So I was just going to jump over that, but he had a really good read catching me with that nair. Yep, good old whiff punish dash attack. Raptor Boost is good for catching traditional landings, but I don't like it much for whiff punishing in this matchup. I think that you should use Raptor Boost to catch forced landings, like when they air dodge or you think they're going to land with an aerial. But when you're specifically whiff punishing in neutral, you should use dash attack instead. Just a heads up to you Falcon players in chat. When you're whiff punishing as a neutral tool, use dash attack. When you're catching landings that you're confident they're going to land in a particular position, use Raptor Boost. Okay? It really makes a world of difference. Also, don't DI down and in towards stage in that position. I actually DI'd like straight down instead of down and away or down and in, because if I DI down and in at that point, there's a good chance I die off the top. Like, look at the position I was in. I was in the top right of the bubble despite DIing straight down. You want to make sure that you're getting the best angle possible so that you'll live as long as possible. But because I didn't line up with the corner of the stage as well, if I DI down and in, I would probably die off the top there. But I lived because I DI'd straight down instead, so that I changed my angle to go towards the corner of the blast zone instead of dying more towards up here, you know?
So we talk about it a lot, but how good you can recover with Pikachu.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh no!
Yeah, the reason that happened was I think he was trying to tech check me, but he didn't anticipate the multi-hit trade, so he ended up accidentally buffering an air dodge and just dying. Like, notice the way he air dodged too? It was, see, he buffered a directional air dodge straight up because he was trying to do the ledge tech wall jump buffered option for killing me off of up B. It just didn't work out because he didn't anticipate his multi-hit trade, which that can happen with up B sometimes. It's kind of janky. Top 8ing a major out of like 800 entrants is not so bad, eh?
Oh no, that's it.
Beat some world-class players in the process. Made some solid shmoney. Got a nice medal. Good times, good times.
Soft drop at the... Here we go, Vicky. Starting it off though. Coming right back into it.
Dude, F-tilt is so good against Pikachu. If you think they're going to challenge you with a landing, upward angled F-tilt is such a good anti-air for us. More Falcons need to use it when Pikachus are landing on them. It's our fastest good anti-air option. It really makes a world of difference. Like, yeah, this matchup's a losing one for Falcon on paper, but there's a lot of stuff you can do to make them work for every little inch, and also maximize our own opportunities, you know?
Smashville is going to be the stage. Pikachu trying to close the gap here. Double back airs. Look at the SDI. You see how he's going through him? You see how he's going through him, chat? So important. Look at that. It helps with the recovery. Again, he's doing it. I love it.
Oh, and goes.
My SDI,
so
though.
the gap here. Double back airs. Look at the SDI. You see how he's going through him? You see how he's going
You
through
see
him?
that? You see that up angle?
Gap here.
Look how high up I went off of that back air. Some of you complain about Pikachu's back air, but you're not SDIing it, and you're like, man, this move's too good. It's amazing, but like, look how much of a difference there is. Like, I started here, and then I went all the way up there.
The SDI, you see how he's going through him? You see how he's going through him, chat? So important. Look at that. It helps with the recovery. Again, he's doing it. I love it.
Oh, and goes right above the left.
Hazmat's always been an SDI connoisseur, so
Keep putting on that pressure with a T-jolt.
he appreciates some of the finest SDI the world has ever seen. He's always been a world-class commentator.
Oh, okay. He's been in the disadvantage. What a parry. He can't get a.
I messed up.
Honestly, Fatality for as long as he's been in the disadvantage.
No! Dude, my Falcon kicks are just too on point. I read him just running in. I knew he was gonna try and like catch me with a grab or up smash or dash attack. Like, I knew he was fiending for a grounded anti-air option. So I just caught him running in. Have you noticed that even though Falcon Kick is such a risky option on paper, almost every single time I use it, it works.
Unheard of 152%.
Reads on point.
Right now. See the attempt, but you need to turn around again with the uppy. You said it.
Yeah. That. But notice how at this point, I don't have anything else that's true. F-tilt just catches all their aggressive options. Because think about it in principle. If I F-tilt there and I catch Pikachu, I get an extra hit that puts him in a position to where I can threaten 2-frame downers. If he doesn't drift in, that means he's off stage and I can just threaten 2-frame downers anyway. And then the other option is that he burns his double jump, in which case F-tilt is low commitment enough to where I can react to the jump and then either threaten aerials to chase him, to try and scare him into burning an air dodge and potentially killing him, or going for other things. Like, there's a lot of options I have, and F-tilt covers the scariest option while still letting me preserve all my other potential kill options as well in that situation. I'm firmly convinced anti-air F-tilt is your best move there. It's so good at lower percents against Pikachu. See, this is why you need to make sure that you're really patient with a lot of your follow-ups. Like, a lot of it is just whiff punishing. Once you scare Pikachu into feeling like you're going to whiff punish what they're doing, you can then start going for your harder reads to just call out their movement. Things like chasing them with knee, establishing the threat of up smash and other things. But just going for these basic up airs to try and force resets is so powerful. Because a lot of the time when you force resets with up air chains, good players won't want to do the same thing they did last time. Which means that now you have one less option you have to think about. And if there are percents where you can threaten a kill, you can be that much more sure of what they're going to do next and be that much more likely to get a kill. Whereas if you tried to force something earlier by trying to go for a combo that isn't there, you've now burned your advantage state and you don't have it anymore. But just going for these up air resets keeps them in disadvantage and makes them much less likely to use certain options depending on what they did last time. And then you can just cover what's left and get kills off of it. It makes such a big difference. That's why I got more up airs into more up airs. And I had the air dodge read, but I slightly misread his drift.
Air dodge.
I literally read the air dodge and everything, but I just slightly misread his drift. Oh well.
Air dodge by ESAM though. He knew he couldn't reach him no matter what.
That would have killed too.
He got the reset on the platform.
Air dodge. Good air dodge.
Yeah, the crowd going awe is pretty funny. Like, they knew that would have killed. You can distinctly hear it in the background. Also, use back air and neutral for calling out them chasing you. Like, there's a lot of value in using back air to call out jumps. It's such a difference maker. Back air to call out jumps at higher percents is usually what you use instead of F-tilt. Think of back air at high percents as the same as F-tilt at lower percents with the way you use it. Like, F-tilt is lower commitment, but you also don't get much out of it. Yep. That was just really good positioning by ESAM. He caught me trying to go around him. That's such a hard position to weave around.
ESAM's gonna be ready, and this might be the game. We're gonna look for the drag down thunder. We something here. Double jump's already out, waiting it out.
Late recoveries, baby.
We're gonna look for the drag down thunder.
So in this position, Pikachu can go for falling back air, which is super high commitment, and I can go for an aerial. I can like go for an air and kill him because it won't be techable or other things like that. I can easily jump over that. I could try and recover over him and get thundered again, or I could go for something else. He ended up trying to go for the thunder. Once I saw him drop down, it's obvious that he's going to go for the thunder because look at my percents. He would rather kill me now than later. So at this point, once I see him drop, I know that he's going to go for it. But at the same time, he can't just hang indefinitely, so I know he has to burn it eventually. He's far enough down, though, to where he can't stall longer with thunder than I can stall with my current resources, which means he has to burn it before I have to burn my resources. So I could try and predict his timing on when he's going to go for thunder, but because from that position, he has to burn his resources before I have to burn mine, it's best to just wait, and then the moment I hear thunder, just react to it and upbeat. Or in this case, once I realized he was far enough down to where he couldn't thunder without killing himself, I realized he wasn't likely to go for a kamikaze, so I just went for upbeat at that timing. And I got back on stage. A scary situation avoided. Notice the DI on the up air? This time I DI'd that up and away. And I got just far enough away to where I could air dodge. If you didn't DI and SDI up and away in that position, then you don't escape that. Situational awareness is so important against this character. I think that's one of the reasons why so many people think their character does worse against Pikachu than they actually do. I mean, don't get me wrong, Pikachu bodies plenty of characters. But I think a lot of people are not very good against Pikachu because Pikachu is honestly a very complicated character to fight. You need so much situational awareness to realize how you need to DI differently in all these different macro situations. And just realizing what options they have and how you can avoid what can kill them or what can get you killed. Like, notice how I'm like never getting up air bridged. I'm pretty much never getting cheesed at low percents. And I'm not getting like lightning looped to 1,000,000% either, you know? Like, none of the stuff that people think of as being super broken is necessarily happening to me. Literally none of it. You can avoid these things. And if I can avoid them with combo food heavy Falcon, then 90% of you who play characters that escape shit easier have no excuse.
Fatality attempt on the cross up too, but the Nair is drifting back.
Dude, these Falcon kicks.
Attempt on the cross up too, but the Nair.
You thought I was gonna land here? Nope. Surprise! Yep. My Falcon kick percentage rate in this tournament is 100%. Dude. The Falcon kicks are a game changer if you just consistently read how people are going to try to harass you in an advantage. Okay, so in this position, I DI'd up on the second one so that I'd be high enough to where I could challenge Pikachu coming after me. And I thought he was going to run after me, so I just fell with Nair. Nair doesn't normally kill center stage, but I mean, it's Pikachu at like 180, and I had a little rage. So, yeah. I thought he was going to go for a more aggressive option or hold his ground. So I went for Raptor Boost there because Raptor Boost is good for that kind of option. But he ended up just going past me instead, so it didn't really matter. Let's see, that one Raptor Boost angle for the recovery. If you look at this position, if he ends up going for an aerial and it hits Raptor and he comes after me with Raptor Boost, there's a chance I just kill him. Like, Raptor Boost literally kills Pikachu at 0 in this position. So if he comes after me with an aerial, there's a chance he dies. I could try and jump, but then if he jumps, he can catch that with an aerial, and then I'm basically dead, you know, because I'll be far enough off stage without a jump that a Pikachu can very easily cover what I have left. I could recover low, but then I have to worry about the mix-ups that come with grounded T-Jolt. I could recover with up B, but he could call that out with down air, or he could catch that with F smash depending on positioning. But Raptor Boost is the safest option here, and it doesn't require me to burn my jump. So because of that, I'm able to, even if I get hit out of it, I'm able to maintain my resources. And if he does decide to challenge it in the one way that realistically can kill me in this position, it requires him to put himself at enormous risk. To where the risk to him is basically as good, if not greater, than the risk to me in this position. Which is why you Raptor Boost. Plus, you're able to, like, weave between the T-Jolts, and then you just don't die.
In control right now, but I don't know if it'll last for long, Vicky. This is
I messed up my spacing. God.
Come on!
I had a few slightly undershot dash grabs in this game. I should have boost grabbed and I would have gotten it. Oh well.
I don't know. He's looking like he's going to take this game too, Vicky. He might.
Oh yeah. That would have actually killed because Pikachu's super light. I thought he might challenge me aggressively, and if he did, he was gonna die. But ESAM was smart to drift away. That was just good by him to get out of that situation.
Doesn't matter here, even with this percent lead.
Every time Fatality barely misses something, you hear the crowd go, oh, you know what I mean? It's so close, man.
Especially by the ledge like this too. Just manage to T-Jolt.
See? You can fight against T-Jolt. Don't let Pikachu bully you for free when he's T-Jolting.
You know what I mean? It's so close, man.
It's all about recognizing what resources Pikachu has. If Pikachu's not fully drifting in forward the whole time during the T-Jolt, you have enough time to where you can react and do things. But if Pikachu does it while moving forward the whole time, he can land with an aerial before you can act. But because he didn't, I had slight frame advantage, and I just grab him. You can do that.
Just manage to T-Jolt right in front of that shield, though the grab's gonna send ESAM off the stage. He knows he's feeling that momentum. Tries to catch
Yep, that up smash would have killed.
Another
That also would have killed. I thought it was worth going for. Like, I didn't think it was going to hit, but I just threw it out anyway because if it does, I win. And the value of doing up smash twice in a row in those positions is it's much more likely to make him play more passive. And then I can just go for reads off of that, like go for a hard knee read or just use that to win neutral more. Because if I can make Pikachu play more passively to where he's not like jumping around everywhere and threatening aerials, it's a lot easier to threaten my own burst options. So there's a lot of value in just making Pikachu hesitant to challenge you by throwing out lots of up smashes.
On the hunt here, trying to play it patiently. He wants to get him off stage, put him in a bad position. What? Did you say that? Oh, ESAM.
Check out these dodges.
Play it patiently. He wants to get him
Dodge.
off stage, put him in a bad
Dodge.
position. What?
Dodge the T-Jolts. Dodge the aerial. Dodge the dash attack.
I'm surprised. Falcon.
Mix up my DI so I dodge the aerial.
Whip that a couple
Wings
times.
I SDI'd up and dodge a grab.
Here, oh, the drag down. 145.
I dodged like 4 or 5 things in a row through a combination of good recoveries and SDI. SDI diligently against this character. It makes so much of a difference.
Just sure if that was on purpose here, because he was at 160 with the thunder.
Oh, I actually got hit by Thunder on purpose in that position, by the way. The only way I could have, like, look at this position.
The drag down. 145. The forward tilt. Just sure if that was on purpose.
So the only way I could dodge Thunder in this situation would be to time my up B as late as possible. And if I time my up B as late as possible, he can literally F-tilt, do downward angled F-tilt, and catch it for free. So because I knew I was going to die to F-tilt,
160 with the thunder's in the
I just go for Thunder instead. And look, I get hit by Thunder and now I'm back on stage. Or I'm at the ledge again. So now I have an opportunity to do something rather than just basically guaranteeing my own death by trying to recover earlier than I need to.
Hey, he's alive though, barely avoiding the score.
Yep. I had a feeling he was going to try and grab me, so I literally did the tech grab.
That's gonna do it.
I tried to jump over him because I thought he was going to come after me with dash attack. And so I was just going to jump over it and then get better positioning to where I could try and keep him at corner or even get like an up smash or something. But he had a really good read on my jump and called it out.
ESAM, very nice
So
job,
good of
closed
him.
that one out.
What am I thinking at this point? If I remember correctly, what I was thinking about at this point was to rely a lot more on close range boxing. A lot of these scramble situations are being decided by him calling out jumps and me just playing passively in positions where the risk reward ratio for doing so is more in his favor. So I actually started boxing more aggressively the following games. It's one of the reasons why I was jabbing way more in games 3 and 4. I was forcing more of these aggressive boxing situations out of scrambles because I didn't like the risk reward ratios of playing more passively there. So yeah, that was one of the main things. I also had more reads on some of his landings so that I could get like down air into up smash or down air into knee as well. Something that helps a lot. I didn't get as many first attempts this time. I got one with Kronos, #1 in Colorado. He's a Snake player that beat Cola at Port Priority. I got one with Peanut, the Little Mac. I got one with Gluto or Gluttony. At Smash 4 Tours Finals, I'm going to try and get at least one with some of the... I'm going to see if I can get a few with some of the Japanese players. Like, I'll try to see if I can get one with Kin, Proto Banham, and some of the others. You know, at Smash 4 Tour, I think I'm going to just try and get first to 10s with as many foreign players as I can. Since I don't get to play them as often, you know? Who's the Australian rep coming to Smash 4 Tour again? I could try and first attend them too.
Yeah. Oh, and the up B here.
Yeah. ESAM was getting a little too cozy with the way he's chasing me. Oh. I was so close to that up smash read. I was just a hair off with the timing, and that was it.
You know what I'm saying? Small, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Doing it so well. Like I said with his grabs before, he's doing it with
Yeah, he read my drift there.
Not enough quite yet. Air dodge.
Also, you don't want to use it often, but air dodge this stage is important.
Not enough quite yet. Air dodge.
Ta-da!
'Cause he's been waiting so much.
Recovery.
Grab attempt. Fatality breaking some
Oh
ankles.
my God.
Yep.
Another grab lock and the down
He tried boxing. I read that he was going to focus on trying to like catch a grounded option. Once I got a read with that,
That is it for that stock. Now having to plan a disadvantage.
got him.
He's working on 3 seconds.
Come on!
Confidently, but
I slightly misread where he's gonna land, so that's why I missed that dash grab.
He does. You see the
That was good of him though.
back air, the mix-up, so that way he
Drifted
can
further
land
away because of it.
he can land right back.
Telling you, man, if Captain Falcon
Yeah.
can SDI
I drifted inwards because I thought he was DIing it slightly differently. That was just me slightly misreading his DI.
it up, Biggie. Up smash, that one connects. But, you know, maybe next
Yep.
time. Here we go.
Remember earlier when I was talking about how you can use all those up air resets to discourage them from using certain options? Last time, I was discouraging him from moving this way. And I was discouraging him from jumping. So if he's not going to move this way and he's not going to jump, that kind of implies he's going to go this way, right? Alright, so if he's going to go this way, what's the best option? Probably some fastball aerial. That way, he's more likely to hit me as I'm coming after him, and it's harder to catch his position. That's what I was thinking anyway. And it just so happens we've got a move that does pretty well against that.
Racking it up, Biggie. Up smash, that
Up
one
smash.
connects. For the first
Ta-da!
time. He swung a couple of them, Biggie. Even in that game, earlier in the first stock, he couldn't find it. He couldn't make the connection, but he did right there to close it out. Moving on into a Game 3 victory.
Got a lead at this point. Doing good. Yeah, this tournament would classify as an A tier. So yes, that'd be a major. Not a super major, but a major.
Fair, okay.
In that position, Pikachu's not really able to hit me with an aerial in time, so just going with landing up air can work like that.
Finding him though, ESAM tech chasing him across the stage, but meeting
Bruh.
sour spot.
What happens for there is I thought he was going to chase after me, so I read his aerial and I jumped over it to down air, but I wasn't necessarily trying to get the Hasselhoff hitbox, but I mean, we take those.
Down air. Send
I
it
wasn't
off the
trying
left
for that
side.
hitbox, but I did read the aerial and call it out with down air.
Fatality might
It's like
make
that
it
was
happen,
on
Biggie.
purpose.
That is very possible, and he's still playing so patient with the drag down attempt here from
Yep.
ESAM.
I knew he was going to jump after me with an aerial after that ledge situation.
Drag down attempt here from
Nope.
ESAM, another down air. He's been landing these so much.
If you look at that down air I went for there,
Landing these so much.
The name of the game is how patient.
the reason I go for that down air there is because he's going to try and chase me in the air. And I thought if he was going to come after me, the only position where he could realistically get a follow-up was if he hit me from that position. So I just threw out a down air to make sure that if I am going to get a hit, it's going to be in a position where Pikachu can't meaningfully convert off of it. Sometimes there's value in just throwing out options in neutral, not necessarily because you expect them to land, but because you know that by throwing out this option, you make sure that something you don't want to happen doesn't happen. Even if you're not a Falcon player, I hope that this is educational for you guys and gives you some ideas.
Well, oh,
So it's actually really hard for Pikachu in that position to get a tech check for kill.
Another attempt with an up smash, but ESAM instead just rolls right back towards the stage.
I think that was also a misinput though. He probably wanted to forward air, but he slightly misinputted and got an up air. So I ended up being able to live a little longer than otherwise.
cover goes high. Easy rack for ESAM, but like I said, take the damage, get your feet back on stage.
Yep.
Take
That
extra
was just a really
damage
good call out
to
on my
stop
movement.
any day of the week.
Oh, and that-
There, up B can work out a shield for that particular position, but up B is not something you can just throw out a lot out of shield. It's just not. But if they're gonna do those higher up Bs where he doesn't necessarily try to fast fall with it early, you can punish with up B. So just make sure that you distinguish whether or not Pikachu's doing a fast fall version of it or a version where he tries to hold it out longer. Because if he tries to hold it out longer, you can punish with up B, but not otherwise.
Knowing that ESAM was going to go for a cross-up, the linger on the thunder, but he does make it back.
Timing makes up for sure. I mean,
Yep.
Fatality's proven that he can hit those down airs when
I tried
he's it out, doing a good job.
going for an aggressive option with jab there, but he had a good read on that.
Second stock for ESAM, ready to pop any second here, especially at this ledge.
Also, more people need to predict when Pikachu's going to do those quick attack cross-ups, because sometimes Pikachu isn't always going to just go towards center stage. If you read that Pikachu's going to move immediately, cross you back up again, A lot of time you can throw out pretty beefy options for punishing it. So just something to remember. Like, that's why I got that jab there.
Oh my God.
Most of my punishes are reads, Kurion, not reactions. Like, I have good reaction times, but I don't really... I wouldn't say I rely on them much, honestly. I'm reading much more than anything else. Like that. Like that was one example of a reaction, but sometimes just standing in place has its value. Because I put myself outside a position of a move, but before I was in range, so I knew if I stood in that position, he'd be tempted to come after me. And he was. Just slightly waited it out. He was trying to reset neutral aggressively with T-Jolt, because if he was able to land a T-Jolt there while drifting in, he would have had enough frame advantage to where he could do something. But because I realized he was going for that, you can force a trade with T-Jolt, where if you up air, you'll still get hit by T-Jolt, but you can hit Pikachu too. And he's at high enough percents to where it's worth going for that trade. Because if I let him land in that position, I can either, one, go onto the platform, in which case being on that platform of a Pikachu in that position sucks. Or I could stay on the ground, in which case T-Jolt can lead into basically everything imaginable. And he'll have the frame advantage to take advantage of it. So it's best to just chase. Yep, nice. DI straight up. Make sure that you don't get the up air. There's one more stocks in the chance in the chat. The people were on my side.
Georgia in the building.
Trying to get that knockback, but now he's trying to rack up a lot of that damage.
Yep, I thought he was gonna jump after me in that position, but he didn't. Can I hear the crowd? Oh yeah. The crowd was firing me up. That gave me even more motivation, honestly. Yeah, that was such a good read. Just caught me on the platform. Drag down, and then drag down neutral air is just so good for that kind of thing.
Fatality doesn't want to commit though. He's playing so well. He didn't want to give anything up because he could end up off stage.
Oh dear.
Right now,
Oh my God.
Scary position. Just barely slid past Thunder. I knew he was gonna go for it, but I was able to just barely slip past it. And this almost killed. Not yet. He had good DI in the neutral air and survived. More rapid jab, more damage.
So close to the left. Oh, the drift back to the dash back.
Yep, that was a really good read there. I went for the down air because I was worried about him starting an up air bridge in that position. A lot of the time, when I'm in these last stock situations, I'm going to throw out moves that I think aren't necessarily going to hit, but I'm just making sure that certain things that could kill me aren't going to happen. Like, I could get up air bridged in that position if he reads my drift. So I just made sure I didn't get up air bridged.
Last stock here situation.
Yep. That back air worked because I knew he was going to jump after it. Like, jump over T-Jolt and hit him as he tries to come in with an aerial. Because a lot of the time, Pikachu, once he's coming in with T-Jolt, it's good for them to, like, come in with an aerial afterwards. So you just jump over T-Jolt and then hit him. Of course, if you think they're not going to do that, you can just, like, shield T-Jolt and then immediately spot dodge or roll instead. And you want to mix up between a lot of those options as far as that goes. Hey there. You've come in for the end? Oh my goodness. Hello. I'm gonna buy you some cat treats with my CEO winnings. Alright, continuing on. Almost done with this set.
One game away from Fatality, move right back into
that was such a good quick attack. Oh my god.
ESAM played this from loser side. Remember, this is
Yep. So that back air looks kind of funny, but I read he was gonna up air there. Have you ever noticed fairly often I'll throw out a move that looks like it shouldn't hit, but I'm catching someone as they extend their hurt box? It's like the equivalent of like reading someone throwing out a kick and then specifically trying to hit not necessarily where they're standing, but hit the tip of their foot. Like, I do that kind of thing a lot. Just very traditional Street Fighter style whiff punishing. Like that. Because his tail was back there. It looks really goofy, but it's good. And this is it. I go for the nair there because once he T-jolts, I react to the T-jolt to chase after him in the air. And then after the nair misses, I think he's probably going to try and catch me with the grounded option. So I decided to throw out jab because I think, one, it might win if it hits. And two, nair actually auto-cancels a lot faster if you land with it after a good bit after the second kick. So sometimes you can catch people off guard with it auto-canceling a little bit faster if you go for it earlier. Because if you try to land with Nair 2, you have more lag than if you like have the second kick come out, wait a moment, and then come down with it. So because of this, you can use Nair 2 as an anti-air if he's going to jump over T-Jolt, or jump alongside after the T-Jolt, or you can just do that. And it also just makes jab much more likely to work. And it works, and...
Yes, it will. Off the side.
And all of Georgia is here too, so...
Georgia giving him a big hug on stage. Very happy for him. Obviously, a tough matchup.
That just makes it super hype. Having the homies just rush the stage.
Very well done. The best Captain Falcon to do it, and a great entrance.
Oh my god.
Don't forget about the entrance.
Probably the best entrance and the crowd of Georgia.
Oh, it felt amazing. I was on cloud 9. That's the first time I've ever beaten him. We've had sets in PM and Smash 4 in this game, and he's literally always won. Finally.